I was only 12 years old when my life shattered. One day, I had parents, a home. The next, I was in a stranger's house with 6 other kids and monsters pretending to be foster parents. That place, it wasn't a home, it was a business. And I was just another body they got paid to break. I grew up in a normal, loving home, only child. It was just me, my mom, and my dad. They weren't perfect, but they were perfect for me. Looking back now, I get it. They were just trying to keep food on the table, to give me the best life that they could. But one day, it all fell apart when they went to prison. High-level drug charges. Turns out, my parents were drug dealers. I had no clue as a kid, but now that I'm older, all the puzzle pieces make sense, clear as day. I was taken into foster care at 12. We didn't have much family, just an uncle in Canada, but the law wouldn't let me stay with him. I was scared, tired, ashamed. I was just a little kid who only knew her parents. There were 7 of us in that house, 4 girls, 3 boys, all around my age. From day one, it was obvious. This wasn't a family. It was a business. We foster kids were kept on the top floor, separate from the family. We couldn't even go downstairs unless it was for dinner. Even then, we sat at a different table. They gave us leftovers for food, cold, picked over, just plain disgusting. Sometimes it tasted weird, made me feel a little dizzy, sick to my stomach. I started refusing to eat. I had a theory. They were putting stuff in the food to make us quiet, tired, complacent. And if you didn't eat, tough. No one cared. One of their sons, Kyle, was 15. Tall, pale, eyes that felt like ice. A future psycho. He bragged about hurting animals, said he snapped birds' necks behind the house, and smiled while saying it. He watched serial killer documentaries like they were cartoons. But the worst thing I saw, the worst thing was when he attacked one of my foster brothers. The kid was only 6. We found him later, bleeding from the mouth, face swollen, shaking. Kyle just stood there, no expression on his face. Said he blacked out, didn't remember anything. And the parents, of course they backed him up. Said he was just playing rough. That 6-year-old, he got punished for lying. That night, I stayed awake, gripping a fork in my hand, just in case. Because I knew the truth. Kyle wasn't done. We had no fun, no real entertainment, just an old TV with no cable, 3 scratched up Disney DVDs. That was all we watched, every single day. I knew those movies line by line, could recite them in my sleep. The sleeping arrangements, a complete joke. Only 2 beds for all of us. Boys on one, girls on the other. We took turns sleeping on the floor. It was awful. Most days, I just cried. Cried for my mom and dad. Cried about how fast everything collapsed. Cried because no one was going to save me. I couldn't do anything. We couldn't do anything. We were just kids, stuck in a living nightmare. School was no better. People avoided me. I was that dirty foster girl. My clothes were stained. I only had a few shirts. No deodorant, no hygiene stuff. No one spoke to me. I'd cry in the girls' bathroom, locked in a stall, trying to feel human, but no one noticed. The teachers saw, the counselors saw, but they always looked the other way. As a foster kid, you start to recognize others like you. There was one girl who stood out, quiet, isolated, just like me, but worse. She had bruises on her arms, on her legs, the kind that didn't come from falling. She'd always flinch when people got too close to her, walked with a limp some days. She couldn't sit right. One day, I heard two girls whispering. Said her stepdad was a creep, a pervert. I believed them. I knew that look in her eyes, the fear, the disgust, the isolation. I'd seen it in the mirror myself. I watched her one day, and it made my stomach sick. She looked like she was in pain. I never said a word, not because I didn't care, because I couldn't. I was frozen in my own nightmare. That house wasn't just a prison. It broke you in many other ways, mentally, spiritually. You started to believe the things they said about you, that you were broken, a burden, an expense. But somehow, I held on. I didn't break. I stayed there until I was 16. 4 years of mental torture. Then finally, I was moved to a real home, a caring one that treated me like a human being. Eventually, I got in touch with my mom and dad again. Yeah, they made mistakes, big ones, but they never stopped loving me. Now, things are getting better. I'm still healing, but at least now, I'm free.